Hello everyone, it's me again, Chase, and in this video I'm going to give you a 2-minute pitch on my international cafe bar slash consulting company, talk a little bit about user demand, my marketing plan, and my updated canvas, as well as a little bit of conversation about some of the interviews that I had this week. So without further ado, let's get started. What I've noticed throughout my time in Colombia is that there aren't enough places to get access to some basic resources as they relate to language. What I would like to do is take products and services that Colombian people are already accustomed to purchasing, namely coffee and alcoholic beverages, and combine that in a location where they will have the opportunity to have exchanges and various conversations with foreigners. By putting these locations in strategic places where tourists frequent, in combination with my ability to request and solicit people from outside the country to come here and work on a temporary basis, I would like to host events and other types of mixers where professionals working in Colombia will have the opportunity to hold conversations in an informal way to help them better their language skills. However, because those services can be limited at times, I would also like to offer my services as a consultant. Many schools and also many businesses have to do many different things with the English language. By offering myself and my full-time staff to these businesses in order to give them consultations on better strategies for how they could achieve their academic goals or strategies for cultural competence, I think that we have found a part of the education industry that has been neglected by the existing establishments. And with that being said, I hope to see you very soon in Lingo, the international cafe bar, which also offers language product consulting. So, regarding user demand, how do I create the end user demand? And I know in previous weeks we talked about the difference between a payer and a user, where in this case, most of the time I would anticipate the payer is also the user, talking about the physical cafe bar location. Interesting enough, for the consultation portion, uh, the companies might be the payers and the users would be the employees that have to attend the event or have to attend whatever conference or meeting we might have. Um, so I'm going to try to create that demand primarily by making the customers aware that the products and services exist. Cannot have demand if we do not have awareness. So that's obviously reviewing materials this week is the idea of a loyalty program. And not just like a 1993 Subway where you punch the card 7 times and you get a free sandwich. I would love to create like a barcode or a QR code, cheap, flimsy plastic card, nothing costly, where when we scan it in the store, I can see what kind of beverages they purchased, what kind of food items they purchased, the frequency, the time of day, because that can also help build my database of different, customer profiles, what's selling, what's not selling. I should have awareness of that, but when you're talking about certain products like coffee, you're purchasing coffee bean and whatnot, but maybe you're not able to distinguish what's going towards espresso, what's going towards cappuccino, etc. So with the ability to monitor particular customers who are repeat customers, I can appeal to my base in a better way, would be my idea. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the Lingo marketing plan and the updated canvas. All right, everyone. So, this is my marketing plan. As I said before, I decided that the tentative name is Lingo, and we are going to be an international cafe and bar, as well as offer English language product consulting. So the marketing campaign would distill down into three particular subsections: direct marketing, digital, and local publicity. I'm going to go into more detail with these following slides. So, direct marketing, what does that look like? That's flyers, passing out flyers on the street, hanging up flyers on the walls where that kind of thing is permitted. Also, going and directly speaking to people like the businessman in the upper left-hand corner. Go to his business, see what I can drum up there. Go to universities, see if I can drum up some business with some people that fit the profile of the man in the upper right-hand corner. Maybe from the bottom right-hand corner, there's also some people who are working professionals, and I could go to where they like to hang out normally. That might be a little sneaky, but if I can go to different, make them aware of what it is I'm doing. So yes, yes, yes. And of course, just the everyday language learner, which is represented by the lady in the lower left-hand corner. And I could do that just by standing in parks. And here it's really common to have a man with a microphone and a speaker just like shouting into the crowds of people in parks and stuff. So, hey, why not me too, right? The other way would be digital. When I say digital, that means having an Instagram for the business, a Twitter, a Facebook, a LinkedIn, any social media presence that is free. I mean, why not? It's free. And potentially paying for exposure, like through Google Ads or Google keyword searches. I would assume that I might make some YouTube videos and then try to promote those videos where the videos like recording inside the cafe bar, speaks a little bit about the consultation services that I offer with my team. So yeah, that's how this would work out. Local publicity. Now, that the news agencies around here, anytime an influencer who comes from Germany or France or Canada says something outrageous on their accounts, the news always wants to interview them here. So I know I could be like, hey, listen, I'm from the United States, I have a business, and I could also speak to influencers, which is represented by Oprah and the gentleman she is speaking to. There are some influencers that are both Colombian nationals as well as foreigners who live in Colombia. If I could speak to them, get on their channels, that would be a great way to boost awareness of lingo. And then to the far right, the gentleman speaking into a microphone. Yeah, go talk to radio, go talk to podcasts. But wait, there is more. The other part of my business that is so important is the foreigners. So I'm going to have campaigns that also address the need to bring them there, to have them come, to want to have an experience. You have these backpackers who just love to be in cultures that are different from their own. And then you have the like traditional people that visit other countries that are students or instructors. So finding a way that I can connect to both of these groups of foreign visitors and get them to stay for at least a few weeks on a rotating basis. And that's going to also be a digital marketing campaign, maybe publicity with influencers related to travel, the blogs that they have and whatnot. And here is my updated business model canvas. Not too much has changed. You can see that I tidied up a little bit customer relations and channels as well as key resources. What I'm noticing as I work on my business model canvas is that it's not necessarily consolidating so much so as it is getting more specific. So looking at customer relations, how do I get, keep, and grow my customers? So how do I get them? That's the flyers, the media campaigns, workplace announcements. I'm going to keep them with our customer service and our rewards programs, and just building a community, people that feel a part of Lingo. And then I'm going to grow it by referrals and word of mouth, expanding and having multiple locations, and potentially even branching outside of the United States, of Colombia. Looking at channels, as I already talked about in the marketing campaign, they are digital, direct, and local publicity. And if we move over to key resources, it's foreigners who want to stay for a few weeks and travelers who are just passing by. I neglected just the wandering travelers. If they come to Colombia and they come to Bogota for a few days, why can't they come to my bar a few times during their stay in the city? They don't have to work for me, they don't have to be affiliated, but their presence would certainly benefit me. So I'm gonna have to find a way to attract them. When we look at key activities above key resources, I added consulting with companies looking for assistance with various international concepts. So I've done some consulting for Pearson Education, and that was just me trying to figure out the best way to assess English levels for call centers. And the call centers contract with Pearson now to evaluate language levels for potential employees. And so that's something that I'm familiar with, and I can think of other ways that consulting might be necessary, perhaps for textbook selection or for specific language courses or specific language needs, I could expand into that. So that's something I'm trying to develop in this current moment. So, yeah, that is what my business model canvas looks like as of week 4. Regarding interviews, now, as you all know from the previous weeks, I have done a lot of surveys and I have bothered everybody on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, as well as WhatsApp. I've been posting my surveys as a status on WhatsApp. So I have a lot of data there. I did want to speak to people about what I'm trying to achieve who are not in my social networks, who are not people I know. However, as timing would have it, the president of Colombia declared a curfew, which in my particular area means that everybody has to be in their house by 6 p.m. if they are not working, and only one person is allowed to leave the house on select days to go grocery shopping to try to bring down the number of daily cases. We're in a third wave right now. So not the most opportune time. However, I do have a lot of students. I am an English teacher. And so without telling them that it's my idea, I did kind of probe them. Like, would you be interested in a place like this if it were to exist in your area? What would you look for? In the ideal scenario, I got a lot of feedback from some of my more intermediate advanced students that they would love that opportunity. Some of the students kind of joked that it'd be a great way to meet people for dating. That's not necessarily my goal, but I'm glad that that's a potential usage of my space. What they really wanted to communicate though was that if I have foreigners who are on staff, who work there, they need to be kind, patient people who also they themselves have the same desires. That is to say, that they want to learn a language because there is a general level of comfort that's achieved when the target language you're trying to learn is it's reversed for the person you're speaking with. So you're trying to learn English, perhaps, but they're trying to learn Spanish. And so because you're both aware that you're on the same level, so to speak, it makes things easier. The other part that really interested me talking to them was that the price points, my students were much more likely to spend higher amounts. I didn't give them an assigned value like I did in the survey, where my survey begins at 1,500 pesos, which is about 40 cents here, all the way up to over 3,500, which is about $1 right now. No, they would spend 5,000 if it meant that they could hang out and relax and have those opportunities. And so now my task is really back to being focused on how do I get people to come and how do I get them to devote some time in the cafe bar. But we'll see. And I'm going to continue to think about that. And hopefully, when this quarantine curfew lockdown ends, I will be able to talk to more people. So with that being said, thank you everybody who watched this whole video. You are a trooper. I appreciate you. I welcome your feedback, comments, questions, criticisms. Bring it. So again, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.